These are two irrigation gearboxes, 50-to-1 ratio. I've cut the outer nose cone and part of the housing out so you can see the bull gear, the worm gears as they move through. Both these gearboxes have set over the winter here in my shop with trash bags over them to keep the dirt and debris out. The reason I'm videoing this is to show you the box on the left, the one where the gear, you easily define the worm gear there, has had gear oil setting in it all winter, and you can see that there's no retention of that gear oil except for the teeth down at the base of the gear. These gearboxes do not have seals on the top of this shaft. There's no seal in here, and there's no seal in here. The gasket is in here, and the seal is in here on the where would be the wheel here. You'll see what looks kind of greasy or blobby there. That is a different kind of gear oil, some gel technology. And I'm going to wipe my finger here so you can kind of see some of this and how it sticks. And you can see it's just stuck all through the shaft there. What this does is under motion, it starts to act like a gear oil, the gel in there does. And then when all motion stops, it just stays and freezes exactly where it's at. Thus, it keeps it from climbing out of seals that go bad. And in addition to that technology, and I'm going to run it here in just a little bit for you. In addition to the technology that makes that gel just hang there, it is also waterproof. So if you've ever been around a gear oil that has taken on water, which these do live in a very wet environment, it can turn milky and get nasty, rust parts up. The gear oil here is waterproof, and you can see that it will cover all these parts. So even if this had water in the box, the water is not going to get to the surface of those. Now I'm going to turn this on, and you can see this gearbox here on the left will dip down. I think the gear oil is about to right here, so I kind of simulated that it's leaked, and the gear oil over here on the right is about that same level. I'm going to turn this on. You'll see that this gearbox here will pick up that gear oil and start to cover these teeth just a little bit, and then I'll record on this side. You can see how this gel starts to react through the movement. And you can see there's still a dry side of that worm gear. About half of that gear towards the end is just dry. Now I'm going to come over here to this gel technology. You see how it kind of water falls off, and it coats all of that worm gear, and it walks out to the edge here. You can see how it walked all the way out to that bearing. It actually goes into that bearing. It's just tough to video. Now what I want you to see is when I shut this gearbox down, how this gel technology behaves. There's no time lapse here. Just going to let you kind of watch that product set there. And basically it goes back to a semi-solid state until it gets to have movement again, and then it'll start to act like a gear oil. Much better protection for your irrigation gearboxes, slow revolving gearboxes that have a lot of moisture around them. Now I'm going to turn this back on. That gear oil goes back into motion, coats all the parts, covers everything, and protects it from that moisture. This gearbox can stay in service even if a seal blows out, whereas the other gearbox, if it leaks all the gear oil out, that big bull gear will not be able to pick up anything because it has leaked out, and there will be nothing there to protect that gear. Now you can see we've run just long enough to start to get that whole worm gear covered. But you see that there's no gear oil that's worked down that shaft because of the low level of simulating a leaky gearbox. So those bearings on the left and right are actually running dry. Now I'm going to shut this off. And you see how the gear oil just runs down. Gravity's working against it, and it plays well with gravity, and off it runs. After a while, and that gearbox sets, all this gear oil here will settle down in those teeth, and once it's puddled up high enough, it'll run off. And just like the beginning of this video, these teeth will be exposed to the atmosphere here. The gel technology, the aluminum complex technology, makes that gear oil in the right hand box far superior. When downtime, actually your uptime, is very, very important to you. It gets really hot in the middle of summer in an irrigated field to have to get out there and work on a gearbox. Ankle, shin deep in mud, packing these heavy things around. The product on the right, give that a look. If you're interested in a product like that in your gearbox, contact me. Let me know.